at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. I made it. I won in the UFC. I'm gonna keep winning in the UFC, and I'm gonna go out on my own terms.
All right, guys, welcome back to Never Made Weight. We got Weston Wilson in the house. Weston, how are you? How are you doing, my friend?
Good, good. I appreciate you working with me and get my working around my schedule.
Yes, sir. Of course. Thank you for coming on. You have a test in 10 days. The test is a guy named Yisha, right? That's how you say Yiza.
Yeah, I've been saying Yiza. I've heard Yisha. I have no idea, man.
Okay. All right. Well, look, we're gonna put this out before that fight. So, can you tell us what to expect during that fight?
Yeah, honestly, I'm super excited for this fight. I mean, I was given 3 week notice. But it was a fight that I actually wanted. I feel like so far my time in the UFC, I've had two killers in Joanderson Brito and Gene Silva. Um, so you saw what I did with Jekka. I think Jekka's a better striker than Yi, um, but Yi's more of a grappler. So we'll see if he tries to stand with me or if he tries to grapple with me. Um, but I'm ready for it all. Like I'm excited because I'll get to show off more of my striking, and I have a lot of confidence in my striking going into this fight. Gene Silva, like we knew nothing about Gene Silva. It was originally supposed to be Gabriel Santos, um, who actually is quite tough himself,
Yeah.
and he fought. He just demolished Yiza in his not his last fight, but in Yiza's
Yeah.
last fight,
Yep.
and so that's kind of how I've been building my game plan is around Gabriel Santos. And yeah, so the Santos fight fell through and they gave me Gene Silva on a 4 week notice and it was for his debut. And the thing is, we knew nothing about Gene Silva. Like we tried to do all this research. There was no footage on him anywhere on the internet. I just had his contender series fight to go off of. And yeah, I mean, so I kind of went into that fight very blind and with no preparation.
To not have any film on somebody like Gene Silva is just a very unlucky situation. I mean, I noticed that before getting into the UFC, you put together a good win streak, and then you had a tough opponent right away, and then Gene Silva. But then Jekka's tough too. Look, Gabriel Santos, he's on a 2 fight win streak right now. He's gonna be out for another like 3-4 months with an ACL tear, I believe, or a meniscal tear. Anyway,
Damn.
yeah. But usually I think is a good matchup for you. I think, I don't really take sides in it, but just based off your performance in the first fight with Jekka, I feel like you're one of those fighters that just gonna get better and better and better. It's fighting is just a stylistic thing, right?
Yeah, for sure.
What
100%.
type
It's
of
style.
style are you most comfortable facing?
Um, so I do well against like the strategical striker, like the person who's gonna try to like, sit back and throw 1, 2 shots at a time. Because that's what I see a lot with Wonder Boy. So I do okay with that. And then I do really well with guys who have zero grappling. And then the I do pretty good against like jujitsu guys um, for with my striking. Um, so yeah, I don't know if Yiza is gonna try to like offensively wrestle, but if he does, like it'll be a mistake for him because I do well against like the offensive wrestling guys. I've got a lot of D1 wrestlers in my camp, and so I mean, there's no way that his wrestling could be anywhere near as good as some of my teammates.
Yeah. And of course you train in the same gym as Stephen Thompson, right?
Yep. Same gym as Wonder Boy.
How long does that relationship go back?
So it's funny. I used to go out and train there for like I would come out here for work, and I'd spend like a week, 2 weeks at a time for work, and so I've known Steven and Coach T since 2018. But I didn't move out until like December 2019. And so I've been under Coach T since 2019. 2020
And
really.
for those who don't know, Coach T is Stephen Thompson's dad, right?
Yep.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that's a father-son gym. Um, Weston, let me ask you, what is what is your hot take on handshakes before the round?
Um so I normally on the regional scene I've been burned a couple times, and so I didn't do it in my UFC fights. Well, I didn't do it. I think I did in the Brito fight, and then I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna do it in the Gene Silva fight. And then so then online I got trashed for not touching gloves. And then Jekka, I went to touch gloves with him because everyone's like trashing me, and he went and tried to like take my head off. So and I promise you this much, I will not do the hand touch, the glove touch. Not in the first round.
Fair enough. Fair enough. How is your mental state leading up to a fight, even all the way leading up to like the moment you step in the cage? Are you an overthinker? Um, how do you
I used
feel?
to be. Yeah, I
Tell
used
me
to
a
get
little bit
super
about that.
nervous. I'd overthink everything, but I work with a sports psychologist, and we've learned how to like compartmentalize things and just focus on what we can control, and then how to like stay engaged and focused and keep my mind where it needs to be in the fight. And I think it's improved drastically. I mean, even if you see like my last fight, like even when I did get in trouble, like I was able to recover super fast and get the game where I wanted it to go.
Yep. Yep.
Um, so uh, yeah, it I mean, I feel super good and confident now that I've been working with the sports psychologist.
And the sports psychologist that you mentioned, um, I believe Billy Ray Goff mentioned them too. Do you mean the ones at the UFCPI?
Yeah. So I work with one of them from the PI, and he and I have been working together for like 2 years now, and things are, my mind is super sharp and bulletproof in the cage. So and
So
a
tell
lot of
me
it is
this.
just the tools and skills that he's helped me develop.
Got it. So a lot of people don't know, like, right? Like, so, for the fans, right? For whoever's watching this that doesn't have this information, in the UFCPI, obviously gives you guys free meals, obviously training facility, spa rooms, right? Like cold plunge and saunas and even sports psychologists.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
else? What am
So
I missing here?
a lot of the benefits like are great if you live there, in Vegas. Uh, I don't, but they do have some remote. So like supplements, they'll send our supplements out for us. The free meals are only when you're in fight camp, unfortunately. My fight camp was too short to get those.
Interesting.
Um,
Okay.
but yeah, anyways, yeah, they've got strength and conditioning, they've got PT, they've got, massage and body wellness. They've got all sorts of things. It's pretty awesome.
And this is like
And
at no
Shanghai,
cost.
where I'm fighting, is yeah, at no cost. Shanghai's got like the biggest PI, and so I'm excited to actually go see that because I heard it's like one of the best in the world.
Yeah, you're
Best
heading out to
facility.
Shanghai because that's where you're fighting in 10 days. When are you
Yep,
heading out?
tomorrow morning.
Got it, got it. And you comfortable flying long flights like that?
Yeah, I have to for work. I mean, I was just in India in July, so
What do you do for
um,
work?
I basically design and develop software.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, so I've got engineers out in India that I go visit once, twice a year.
That's a high that's a high level job description, man, honestly. You know.
Yeah.
How'd you get into that? Were you always into that stuff?
Now, no, when I was in college, I was working for a software company, their customer support. After I graduated, I was trying to make more and look for more, and I kind of just fell into it. The company, like, they moved me into that role, into a product manager role, and I actually wanted to go into law enforcement after that. I got like rejected by every law enforcement company, agency, and so I was like, whatever, I'll just go all in on this product management thing and just get really good at it. Because it afforded me the opportunity to fight. So I was like, I'm gonna go hard in this and hard in fighting, and let's see where life takes me. And so I can't complain because I get, I'm able to cover all my bills and have enough money to not have to worry. And then I also get a fight. So I mean,
Plus, plus you're the baddest guy in the office too. So good.
actually, that's not true. My business partner and my boss is actually probably better than I am. He's a ranger, and he's like 285 pounds, just
Damn,
mass. And
damn,
yeah, he's a bad dude.
damn. Well, that's a bad duo for sure. Weston,
Yeah.
tell me about growing up, your temperament, what kind of a kid you were. Who's the first person that told you that you're good at fighting?
Yeah, just growing up, I mean, I was kind of a wild child, like just always wanting to do my own thing and just always out in the woods and exploring and you know, climbing trees, jumping off of things. And I first got like saw fighting when I was in fifth grade, I think, sixth grade. And there's a guy named Jim Waddell. He worked for my dad, worked with my dad, excuse me. And uh, he was like, "Yeah, you should wrestle." I was really small for my age, and so I was like, "All right." So I started wrestling, and he showed me UFC, and so that was when I first was like, "Yeah, I want to try this. I want to do this." Then my freshman year, Ultimate Fighter came out, and I was like, "All right, yeah, this is awesome. I'm gonna try this." I was way too small, um, but then we moved to Brazil my junior year, and I got into MMA out there in Brazil. Um, and yeah, I really just haven't looked back since.
That was a major detail you just gave us. You are from where? Where did you grow up?
Grew up in Virginia.
But then you
Yeah,
moved to
but
Brazil.
we moved to Brazil my junior year of high school.
Why?
My dad's job took us out there.
Okay, cool. So that's where you started training?
Yep. Yeah, I started in Brazil, in São Paulo, Brazil, at a Brazilian top team. Not the headquarters office in Rio. But yeah, we had some decent talent. It's funny because I was there the same time as Charles Oliveira. I wasn't Charles didn't train at our gym, but my teammate fought Charles Oliveira in his very first fight, and Charles decimated him.
Yeah, Charles trains in Sao Paulo too, but at Shoot the Box with Diego Lima, you were at Brazilian
Mm-hmm.
top team. But that's crazy. You have no experience. I mean, you have no Brazilian in your blood. Weston Wilson, right? You have no
Mm-mm.
Brazilian.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. Nope.
So no one would probably know that about you. You know, here you are, white guy from trains fighting out of South Carolina, but no, this guy actually lived in Brazil. That's actually very
Yeah.
interesting. How did the people take you in over there in Brazil?
I mean, I was a kid, so they were all like super cool, and I was also American who came from a wrestling background, and so they would ask me to like wrestle with them and show them like different wrestling techniques and stuff like that. So it was good. It was a good time.
Got it. Weston, for you to for you to be happy with your career at the end of it all, 20 years later, you look back. What do you want them to say about Weston Wilson?
You know, I did a lot with the amount of talent that I was blessed with, uh, and really, it doesn't matter what people say about me and my career. Like it's just for me, it's the legacy that I've given my kids, and for them to know and see, the work that I put into this sport and the goals that I've accomplished. I don't really care what anyone else says, and uh, I mean, 20 years from now, people could say I sucked and I was the worst fighter on the UFC roster. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. I made it. I won in the UFC. I'm gonna keep winning in the UFC, and I'm gonna go out on my own terms.
It's beautiful. And I commend that because it really doesn't matter what anybody says, right? But Weston, there's a lot of new fans in the UFC. It's an ever growing sport, MMA. Paramount just signed a deal with UFC $7.7 billion, which is gonna
Yep.
make UFC be reachable by a way larger audience. Okay, so the new fans are gonna keep rolling in, keep rolling in, keep rolling in. So there's going to be a lot of ridiculous opinions, just like there's ridiculous opinions when it comes to the NBA and NFL and so on and so forth. Um, what what do you wish the common fan knew about MMA fighters?
I mean, we come from all sorts of walks of life. When I first got into MMA and when I was first training MMA, it was seen as like a degenerate thing, and I had teachers telling, parents to keep their kids away from me, that I was a bad influence and things like that. Um, but the thing is, like, I went to college, I got my degree, uh, father, husband, I pay my mortgage. I got a good credit score. Like everything that you're supposed to do, I've done and continue to do. And so it's just funny that there's still a perception that fighters are people with issues, and but I think it's changed a lot over the last several years, and I hope that persona still changes.
Yeah, actually, we talk about this a lot. The common fan will be surprised to know the level of intelligence of the MMA fighters. I mean, you are a software engineer. That's ridiculous. You know what I mean? Um, that's a really tough job. Um,
Yeah.
so I just want to ask you a couple more questions, and I'll be out of your hair. I know you're flying out tomorrow. Uh, Weston, who's you fought on short notice before, right? What's the mindset when you take a fight without a full camp as opposed to when you do have a full camp?
I'm usually always in shape. I don't really take any time off. So for me, I like it as long as like the weight cut's good. I like it. So it gives me less time to think and overanalyze and worry, and I can just kind of go in and just be free. Uh, so yeah, I haven't. I mean, obviously Brito was short notice, and that didn't go the way I wanted it to. I mean, I almost had him in a submission. Um, but all throughout my career, I've had short notice fights, and usually I do pretty well in them. So,
Yeah. Well,
yeah, my mindset is the same going into every fight. Is like I'm gonna do what I need to do, and I'm gonna try to impose my will on this guy.
guys, this guy's tough. He's a very likable guy. When you see him fight, he goes in there and he fights. He takes short notice fights, doesn't make excuses. He's always in shape, always ready to go. The guy's a businessman. He's always traveling. It's a lot more to this than you think it is. You turn on the TV, you see two guys fighting. When one of them sleeps, sometimes people laugh, but you don't know what goes into this. So I respect you, Weston. I'm cheering you on for August 23rd against Yiza. No disrespect to Yiza, but obviously, God bless America. Weston,
Yeah.
is this I love the Chinese. I love the Chinese, honestly. But Weston, is there something you want to leave us with?
No, tune in August 23rd. You're gonna see another, performance, bonus or performance worthy, uh, or a bonus worthy performance, excuse me. Yeah, August 23rd.
All right, I'll be tuned in. I can't wait. This video will come out like August 21st. So you know, we're looking forward to it, and you know, we wish you the best. Thank you so much for taking the time, Weston.
I appreciate it. Thank you, man.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you.
Wearing a t-shirt that says never made.
I believe him. I think he's telling the truth.